Greetings and salutations, folks. Today we're going to talk about Anthem from Bioware, specifically the VIP demo that came and went this past weekend. As you can probably garner from the fact that I was able to participate in it, you know that I have pre-ordered the game. I admit that I didn't really pay attention to what the game was about when I pre-ordered it. I'm already a fan of Bioware as a developer, and after the problems with Andromeda, I decided that I wanted to support them with the purchase of their game. I want the company to be around to make more games. Since then, the main criticism that I've heard of Anthem, now this is before the demo was released, was that it looked like a Destiny clone. The idea of a game that plays like Destiny isn't awful, because Destiny does play well. It is a little disappointing that Bioware would be treading on common ground, but as the years have progressed, you can see how their games have evolved over time, generally becoming simpler and faster. Anthem follows suit in that direction, but we'll get to that in a bit. First off, I had intended to do just a Let's Play instead of a written and recorded piece, but the demo unfortunately had problems. I downloaded it on the Xbox One, ran around the hub area of the game, encountered this schmuck with a really weird facial expression, only to encounter a loading bug that prevented the game from being played. Very common loading bug. The same thing happened on the PS4 version, though as you can tell from the footage, I did eventually get into the game. It's unfortunate that the game has had problems, though at the very least this happened before the game was released as opposed to after. I have fond memories attempting to play Diablo 3 on launch, only to not be able to access the game. While I don't think it's particularly offensive that the demo had bugs, I would argue the biggest problem is that it's a timed demo. The VIP demo is just temporarily available from the 25th through the 27th of January. The public demo will be running February 1st through February 3rd. A timed temporary demo is something I don't understand, entirely under the idea that I'm assuming that companies involved with the game being demonstrated want money. Every game is a risk. Every game that costs as much money as Anthem is a risk for the people involved. I would imagine they would want more people to try out the game, especially those who might be on the fence. If they're on the fence about purchasing Anthem, and they have a demo available to play, and they try out the demo, and they're like, oh, this is actually fun, they are more likely to buy the game. In theory. I would imagine the biggest reason why the demo is timed is because this increases the chances that many people would be playing the demo at the same time. The game is meant to be a multiplayer experience. It's balanced to be a multiplayer game. It even gives you bonus experience for playing along with others. If other people aren't available to play the demo, then the presentation of the demo would not be under ideal conditions. By limiting the demo to a short amount of time, that means that the amount of people playing during that short period is high enough that more people would be playing in groups, more likely than not. Though I would argue that having the demo available at all times would actually have similar results. I would imagine that on the first available days it would have the most activity. Set the demo to release on a weekend, and that weekend would have the most people playing. Numbers of people playing the demo would drop off over time, but even the act of playing the game single player still gives a person an idea of how the game will feel like. And after all that is said and done, let's talk about the game. Probably the simplest way to describe it for me is that it's Destiny with a jetpack and a better story. Tycho over at Penny Arcade also compared the game to The Division and Warframe, though I don't think either of those comparisons are really that much closer. I'll get to that in a bit. First off, the jetpack. Flying around in the jetpack is a fantastic time. Fly through the air, soar through the sky. Do sick dodge rolls as you fend off against airborne threats. Overheat and come crashing down on the earth below. Fly toward your foes. Fly away from your foes. Slice, dice, make julienne fries. It solves a Destiny problem. In Destiny, you've got your vehicle, your Sparrow. You can pull it out, hop on board, drive. You can't fight while using it. It is a means of getting yourself from point A to point B faster. You drive it to combat and then you get off and fight. Combat, at its most basic level, starts off closer to Destiny than The Division, as it's not about taking cover but about being maneuverable. You start off with your guns and your cooldown-based skills, though I feel that the cooldowns were significantly faster in Anthem than in Destiny, and a bit faster than in Anthem than Division. The enemies aren't bullet sponges, but are more numerous. Combine that with no cover, similar to Destiny or Warframe, and you've got a faster, more frenetic action game. Add in the jetpack, and now you've got options. I didn't play enough of the demo to get access to the other javelins, so I can't really talk too much about how that affects the game, but that's largely because the demo happened to only be available on a weekend in which I work my regular job. So yeah, after talking very briefly about the game, we're back on the temporary demos because, as someone who has a regular job and bills to pay, being allowed to play a game on somebody else's schedule can easily lead to conflicts. And you know what? I do want to play this game. The action is well done, it's fast, it's fun. It's a great time jetpacking through the air. And last, but definitely not least, I'd like to see where the story's going, especially after the sudden Italian Spider-Man-esque plot twist.
I know. There is this tried and true technique. Never fails to...
Matthias?
Was this new? Incredible. Shove off, Hansi!
Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.